I bust my ass, Lou. That's what I do every day. So you be careful who you mouth off to, jerk off.
I'm just a little bit perturbed.
game, baby. Bowl game.
Good morning, Naps. Uncle Lou here. Yeah, that's right. It's me, Uncle Lou, and I'm live for you on LouTube today. So thanks for watching. I really appreciate it also. And two, this is the Uncle Lou Show live, YouTube's original and still the best, to be honest. Even though the other ones are good too, this one is the best college football call-in show. I appreciate you guys tuning in tonight. We do this show every Tuesday and Thursday night at 10 p.m. Eastern. We also have a call-in show Saturday mornings at 9 a.m. Eastern, although we will not be doing any of the regular live streams this Saturday because I will be at the game. We also have the morning show Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 8 a.m. Make sure you guys all check that out. If you haven't, we have a good time on all these shows. Appreciate all y'all tuning in tonight. We'll talk about the college football rankings. We'll talk about some of the games coming up this weekend. And at 10:15, we will find out if the Ultimate Troll is going to pay off his bet with Uncle Lou. At 10:15, which is about 15 minutes from now, the Ultimate Troll is going to be calling in. Of course, he's an Auburn fan. Born loser. He has to call in and sing the Georgia Fight song to Uncle Lou. So we'll see if he does it. He's supposed to call in at 10:15. We'll see how that
I'm just a little bit perturbed.
Shout out to Lanier HVAC Services. They sponsor the Uncle Lou Show live. If you live in the Athens, Atlanta, or Gainesville, Georgia area and you need some work done on your HVAC unit, give the good people over at Lanier HVAC Services a call. They will take good care of you. Their phone number is 678-943-1351. Make sure you tell them Uncle Lou said good morning. Shout out to everybody tuning in. Radiant Noah, RG Gannon, Kevin 33, Ayatollah of Sand, Dirty Bird Special, Frosty, Ultimate Troll. Ultimate Troll got trolled into singing the Georgia Fight song. Connor Ross, good morning. Kobe Ellis, Alex, appreciate all you guys tuning in. Depressed Florida fan, thank you for the super chat, sir. He says top 5 SEC head coaches. I hate doing top 5 lists off the top of my head because I usually leave someone out. I'll try to do it in no particular order, though. Just off the top of my head, no particular order. Saban, Kirby, Jimbo. Those are the top 3. You say what you want about. I give somebody wins a national title, I give them some credit. So I'm putting Jimbo top 3. So I think those are the top 3. After that, it becomes a lot harder. Ed Orgeron, I guess, after the season they're having this year, would have to be in the top 5, and I would probably put Gus Malzahn. Those would probably be my top 5 right now. Kirby Smart, Nick Saban, Jimbo Fisher, Ed Orgeron, Gus Malzahn. They're the only ones that have won anything. Kirby's won a couple of 3 division titles now, an SEC title, and a playoff game. We know what Saban's won. Jimbo Fisher has won a national title. Gus Malzahn has won division titles and an SEC title. And Ed Orgeron is about to win a division title. So those would be my top 5. Everybody disagree with that. Jay Rizzle Drizzle, thank you for the super chat. Have a bunch of free supercars that expire on the 29th. I hope these pay you. Super chats, I think he means, and I'm sure they will pay me, sir. Thank you, I really appreciate it. Jay Rizzle Drizzle, he says, oh, there it is, autocorrect, super chats, not supercars. If you have any supercars you want to give me, that would be just fine too. Yes. Jesse and Cenas, thank you for the super chat. Gig'em Aggies, love your show, but this weekend it's all about playing spoiler. Yeah, good luck with that, sir. First trip to Athens will be a memorable one. But unfortunately, you'll be carrying an L back with you to College Station. That's just the way it is. Farmer fight, he says. Connor Ross, thank you for the super chat, sir. Really appreciate that. You're good people. Go Aggies. Bugs me that Deep Barat hiding and can't eat some crow after all that trash talk. Yeah, I did find him on Twitter, and he basically said, yes, I quit. I'm hiding. He basically told me that once they lost to Oklahoma, he was giving up on the season and blah, 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 and yada, yada, yada. So I've banned him from my channel until next season starts. He was the loudest person on this channel in the comment section from January through August. And as soon as Texas lost a couple of games, he disappeared. So I'm not going to have he lost his LouTube off-season privileges. I love it when people trash talk, but listen, when you're that loud about it, when Texas wins, you get to show up and gloat. But if Texas loses, you have to show up and take it. If not, so he won't be around next offseason. He's not allowed back here till August. So that's just what it is. Let me get through a few of these phone calls here, and then at 10:15, I'm going to clear the phone lines for the ultimate troll to call in and sing us the Georgia fight song. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou and also.
Hey, good morning, Uncle Lou. Times 5 here. How you doing today, sir?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Good morning, isn't that?
Yeah. Awesome. Last Saturday, awesome football. Sooners almost gave me a full-on heart attack, but, great comeback win. Yeah, really great comeback win, largest in our school history. I mean, through all that game, it was all swap because sorry about that. I guess now Baylor's the new Atlanta Falcons.
28-3.
Oh, poor Baylor. Yep. I mean, it's sad. Even the Falcons made the tweet on with the palm hands. It was really funny, if you ask me. I mean, but after all this, though, even though if OU going up one spot, it's, to be honest, it's really what I think. It's slim to none that I think Oklahoma's going to make the playoffs. There's going to have to be a lot of chaos, in my opinion.
No, you're playing Alabama. You're playing Alabama in the Sugar Bowl.
Hey, I don't mind that either. I mean, hey, whatever SEC team will play, I'll play them. And, hey, win or lose, hey, I'll be on.
Yeah, it'll be Bama in the Sugar Bowl. And they're right. The Gumps will tell you that they're excited about their Sugar Bowl bid they're getting this year.
Yeah, well, hey, hopefully they won't think it doesn't matter. Hopefully they'll actually play the game, and
Depends if they win or not.
Hopefully they won't. Yeah. What?
If they win, it'll matter. If they lose, it won't.
Yeah, it's just like.
That's what they'll tell you.
Yeah, just hopefully none of their other players sit or quit or something like that, how some players do these days when they try to play in big bowl games. Kind of dumb in my opinion, but hey, what can you do?
Not much.
But, not much, sir. I mean, but hey, this weekend, though, hey, that's all I really wanted to say. I really got nothing else on my mind. But, hey, good luck to your Georgia Bulldogs as well, and hopefully my Sooners can win all the way to the games. And, hey, can't wait to see Baylor again in the Big 12 title.
It'll be a good one.
Good luck to you, Lou. You have a good morning, and too.
Yeah, thank you for the call, sir. Really appreciate it. Jordan Cup, thank you for the super chat, sir. Just checking to see if Texas is back yet. Yes, Texas is back. Back to losing 4 games a year. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Good morning, Lou. I just got one question about Felipe Frank. What do you think he's going to do after he recovers this year? You think he's going to stay at Florida, or you think he's going to transfer?
I would leave. The fans don't want him. So.
Yeah, I hate that kid.
I mean, they booed him when he was the starter. Then Trask came in. I mean, the fans will never accept Felipe Franks back at Florida. So if I was him, I would transfer out.
Emory Jones too.
Yeah.
Nick Sproles did transfer today, though. Or he's entering the transfer portal.
Yeah. Who?
Nick Sproles, Florida third string.
Oh, yeah. Well, no one knows who that is except you. Yeah.
We only have 2 quarterbacks now.
That's because the one that you signed in the 2019 class quit before he ever stepped foot on campus.
Who's that, Matt Corral?
No. I can't remember his name. You signed a quarterback in 2019, but he quit before spring practice.
Yeah, I know. I really don't want to see Felipe come back. I really don't think Mullen had the guts to tell that kid that he sucked. I don't know if it was some politics or something, but
Jalen Jones, that's who it was. Somebody let me know in the comments section. Jalen Jones, you signed in 2019, the only quarterback you signed in 2019, and he quit the team before the season ever started. So I guess he wasn't a Florida man. I'm not sure.
Yeah. But unless Felipe stays and we run like a triple threat offense, which won't happen, but hopefully he could transfer to Vanderbilt or something. That'd be smart.
Yeah, he'll find some. If he decides to transfer, I'm confident he'll land somewhere where he can start.
Yeah, well, let's go, Lou. I know you got that caller coming at 10:15.
Okay, buddy. Thank you for the call. Good luck the rest of the way. Although I don't think you'll need it. I think you're probably going to win out. We'll see what kind of bowl game you get. Yeah, good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Hey, how's it going, Uncle Lou?
Hey, it's going good.
Just wondering what your opinion is on, so this year, I think it's undisputed that Ohio State and LSU have looked like the two best teams this year, undoubtedly.
I disagree.
You disagree?
Yeah.
What's your opinion on it?
LSU, it doesn't have a good enough defense to be a top 2 team. I mean, I think LSU deserves their ranking based on the teams that they've beat or whatever, but I don't think LSU is one of the best 2 teams.
I don't necessarily believe that. I'm saying as they've played through 10 games this season, I feel like they've looked better than anyone else with the exception of Ohio State.
What about Clemson?
Who do you feel looks better?
Clemson?
I'm an ACC guy, so I love Clemson, but I think they've looked good. But I also think at the same time, yeah, they played their schedule, but everyone's going to look back to that North Carolina game.
Right.
Like, I just can't. You can't forget about it.
Right.
Like at the same time, that's always going to be there. With that being said, I feel like the other thing I feel pretty strongly about is that Dabo Swinney is the best coach in college football, and I mean, there's nothing that's changed my opinion on that.
Right.
So I feel like, you feel like come college football playoff time, let's assume that it's Clemson, LSU, Ohio State, and for the sake of this argument, let's throw Oklahoma in there. I don't know who the 4th team's going to be. But let's say Ohio State ends up playing Clemson. So up to that point in the season, you'll assume Ohio State hasn't lost any games, and they've continued to roll through their entire schedule. Do you feel that Clemson, although maybe not having had the resume and as many dominant wins over good teams, you think just because you give Dabo Swinney that much time to prepare for anyone, you think
did it matter last year?
Comes out. No.
Yeah. And I'm not convinced Ohio State will roll through the rest of its schedule. Ohio State has the toughest schedule in America from now till the end of the season. So I'm not convinced.
What do you think about the Penn State game this week?
Huh?
What do you think about the Penn State game this week?
I think it'll be a good one. I would go with Ohio State probably. I think it'll be a good game, but they play 3 top 15 teams. They have to win 3 games against 3 top 15 teams to get into the playoffs, so we'll see if they can do it. But they have the toughest schedule in America from here on out.
If you were taking the money, would you take Penn State and give them 18, or do you think Ohio State will cover?
I probably won't play that game. I mean, I don't have any doubt that Ohio State can win, but 18 is a lot of points in a rivalry game, and some of those games have been real close over the last couple of years. I don't know. I'll do that video probably Thursday, so I'll have to make a decision by then.
Yeah, I'm from up north, so I'm hoping Ohio State embarrasses Penn State, but I don't know.
Could happen.
I think what?
Could happen.
I just think Ohio State's that good. I mean, I've watched them play this year, and granted, like, anyone can look good against Rutgers, like those kind of teams. But I mean, the one game that just still impresses me the most out of anything is the big win over Wisconsin. I mean,
they've played 2. They've played 2 top 17 teams, and they've beat them by a combined score of 75-7.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think when it's all said and done, I mean, always there's going to be the guys that, a lot of SEC guys would say the Big Ten isn't anywhere near as good as the SEC.
They're idiots.
Not as good as the SEC, but
they're idiots.
I think the Big Ten's still real good. So, like, there's going to be those guys that say, "Oh, Ohio State, Wisconsin's only ranked because they play in the worst division in Power 5 football and this, that, and the other thing." Like, I just feel like regardless, you look at Wisconsin, you look at I mean, how many shutouts they have this year? How many
4.
shutouts they have in the first 5 games?
They have 4. Georgia has 3.
Like, that's the other thing. Like, no disrespect to your Georgia Bulldogs. I do not see that as good as their defense has been this year. I just don't think that offense can hang with some of the big dogs of college football right now.
Well, we'll find out. Thank you for the call. Appreciate it. If you're not on hold right now, don't call in. If you call in now, I'm going to hang up on you. Ultimate Troll, if you're still in the comments section, I'll let you know when to call in. But no one else call in right now. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Hey, how's it going, Uncle Lou?
Hey, it's going good.
Hey, how's it going, Uncle Lou? Hey, good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou. Hello?
Yeah, go. Hurry. You got about 2 minutes.
All right, my fault. So I'm an LSU fan, but I'm not
I'm sorry.
like, football ignorant. Our defense is terrible, man. It's
No
the
doubt.
worst it's been in a very long time.
Yep.
But I do want to say that, like, I feel like my team's the best, but it's not. Ohio State is definitely the best team in the nation. There's no doubting that. And I know Georgia fans don't want to give Justin Fields his credit, but come on now. You
Not
can't
this
just
Georgia
say
fan.
he's not one of the, you know.
Yeah.
So, but like I think like LSU's defense has won games that their defense beat Auburn, for instance, but it's not going to be able to hang with the Ohio State if it comes down to that. I think they can make the national championship. I don't think they can win it. I just don't. I think Joe Burrow definitely, has a chance to win the championship for us, but the defense may let them down, and that's going to suck. But
I agree with you. I think Joe Burrow will win the Heisman, but I do not think LSU will win the national title. You can't win the national title with that bad of a defense. Thank you for the call. Let me run through 2 more calls, Ultimate Troll, and then I'm going to have you call in. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Hey, good morning, Uncle Lou. With Andrew. How are you?
Yeah, good morning. I'm good.
Hey, listen, I got to get something off my chest. I am saturated with Tua talk. I can't take it anymore. He's everywhere that I look, and he's not even going to play another college football game.
Well, you're the only person so far that's mentioned him on this show.
Everywhere I go online, I'm getting updates on his injury and how his surgery's going.
Yeah, and here you are calling into a YouTube show, and you want to talk about Tua. So I'm not sure. That's just weird. You called up to talk about Tua by complaining about people talking about Tua. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Hey, Lou. How's the man of Georgia doing?
I'm doing great. How are you, sir?
Doing okay. I'm going to tell you something, Lou. Out of all the UGA fans, you are probably the most sensible. If I were you, Lou, I would just give up trying to convince some of these UGA fans about Justin Fields because they're just not going to get it.
No, they're not.
They're not. And I'm going to tell you this. I believe that Georgia is going to win the national title this year. And you know why I believe that, Lou?
Defense.
Because they have to. Defense and because they have to.
They do have to.
One thing that Georgia finds itself in a unique set of circumstances that the other teams right now in the rankings don't find themselves in. All the other teams, the top 4 or 5, have won a national title in the 2000s. Georgia has not won one since 1980 in Herschel Walker.
Oh, God.
And so when you keep going like that with a top 4, top 5 recruiting classes, eventually your recruitment is going to start drying up.
Maybe. I mean, we're on a roll recruiting wise. My biggest concern is not necessarily that Georgia doesn't win it, but if Georgia doesn't win it and Ohio State does, that's a big problem, and that could be something that could really hamper us in the future because that's going to be that's going to be a tough pill to swallow. Sorry to cut you short. Okay, no one's on hold. Ultimate Troll, call in. So you know the number. Call in. Whoever calls in right now, when I click on, if it's not Ultimate Troll, I'm going to have to hang up on you, and then you're going to have to call back. So, Ultimate Troll, it's showtime, sir. You lost a bet to Uncle Lou. It's time to pay up. Get on your knees. Warm up your vocal cords, sir. It's time to sing the Georgia fight song. Let's go. I'm waiting on you to call in and be a man and honor your bet that you made with the Ultimate Troll. You were in the comments section when the show started. I told you to call in at 10:15. It's 10:20. Let's go. I cleared off the phone lines like I told you I would. Uncle Lou, man of his word. All right, someone's calling in. We'll see if this is the Ultimate Troll. Oh, yeah, good morning in that. Yeah, good morning in too.
Glory, glory to old Georgia. Glory, glory to old Georgia. Georgia. Glory, glory to old Georgia. Glory, glory to old Georgia. Glory, glory to old Georgia. Georgia. Fuck Malzahn.
Oh, that was so worth it. All right, phone line's back open, 706-786-4481. One, I'm sure you all have seen by now the playoff rankings that were released tonight, but here you go, in case you haven't. The top 5 didn't change. LSU, Ohio State, Clemson, Georgia, Bama. 6 through 10, Oregon, Utah, Penn State, Oklahoma, Minnesota. Again, I'll reiterate, just like I did on my top 10 video, this is absolutely ridiculous to have Penn State at 8 and Minnesota at 10. Same conference, same record. Just played each other 9 days ago. Minnesota won, but yet somehow we're supposed to believe Penn State is 2 spots better than Minnesota. This is absolutely ridiculous. It would be different if Minnesota had 2 losses or 4 or 5. Or if these two teams hadn't played yet. But they have the exact same record. They're in the same conference. They played head-to-head 9 days ago. Minnesota beat them, and we're supposed to believe that Penn State is 2 spots better. I get it that Minnesota just lost this past week on the road to Iowa. I don't care. If you think Minnesota, and I'm talking to the playoff committee here, if the playoff committee thinks Minnesota is the 10th best team, then they should have Penn State at 11, period. This is absolutely insane. I don't understand how anyone can vote this way with a straight face. It makes no sense to me at all. None. Zero. This also is not going to stay like this for very long. In fact, next week, this is going to switch. Okay? LSU beating Arkansas. What's the score of that game going to be? 50-35? LSU, how many points will LSU give up to Arkansas? Arkansas is a 2-win team. They're terrible. You're not going to get any respect or credit for beating Arkansas. Ohio State, if they mollywop Penn State, the 8 team, Ohio State will be number 1 next week. Not that it really matters, but both these teams just went out and they're in, so that's all that matters. Does anyone care? 11 through 15, Florida, Wisconsin, Michigan, Baylor, Auburn, Notre Dame, Iowa, Memphis, Cincinnati, Boise State, Oklahoma State, Iowa State, USC, App State, SMU. So notice there's not a single team on this list that Alabama has beaten, and then you will understand why they're sitting here at 5. So that's just what it is. I don't know what else to tell people about that. They can keep crying all they want about anything they want. It really doesn't matter. That's just reality. Let me run through these super chats, and then we'll jump right back on the phones. Drizzle, thoughts on LSU still being ranked 1? Do you think Ohio State takes over the top spot after they beat Penn State? A weird coincidence, but I actually just talked about that. Yeah. And then the following week, of course, Ohio State plays another top 15 team in Michigan. So if they win that game, they'll stay number 1 because LSU plays Texas A&M, who will be unranked. And then, of course, the following week will be conference championship week. Michigan is going to play either Minnesota or Wisconsin. Ohio State's going to play either Minnesota or Wisconsin, and LSU is playing Georgia. And at that point, we'll be done arguing about where teams are ranked. We'll know who's getting in after those conference championship games end. Colton Hortzman, thank you for the super chat, sir. Top 5 favorite UGA games. Oh, my God, of all time. I was at the Georgia game when we beat Tennessee and tore the goalpost down. That's my favorite personal memory from being at a game. Somewhere in the top 5 is last year's Auburn game, not because it was some amazing game, but I went to that game with my dad, my son, my brother, and his son. And it was the first time all 5 of us had been to a game like that. I've taken my son to a bunch of games. I've been to a bunch of games with my dad. I had never been to a game with my dad and my son, so that was pretty cool. That would be on my list somewhere. I remember my granddaddy took me to a game one time when I was younger. I want to say we played Georgia Southern. That would be in my top 5. Going to a game that was the only game I ever went to with him. The first game I ever went to, 1988 or 1989, we played Baylor. That would be on the list just because it was my first game. I would probably have to put some more thought in it to come up with more. Slim Shady, thank you for the super chat. Roll Tide is street slang for eating Tide Pods. Drizzle, thank you again, sir. Clemson gets to save all their guys all year by the cupcake schedule and going to the playoff more healthy than any team in college football. Well, that's one way to look at it. I mean, last year everybody said, well, Clemson hasn't played anybody, so they're going to get killed by Alabama. Then they showed up and destroyed Alabama, so I guess this is the narrative now. Brock Tony, thank you for the super chat, sir. He says, Boomer Sooner. Yep, good luck in the Sugar Bowl against Alabama, sir. Greatest ever. Thank you for the super chat. I've been waiting on this call all week. Go get him, Loot Ultimate Troll. Unfortunately, he hung up as soon as he was done singing. I'm not sure if he was embarrassed or if he just didn't want me to get on his ass, which he knew was going to happen. Mike Bridges, thank you for the super chat. Does Fromm stay or does Beck come in and take over? Should not have let Fields go. I don't pretend to be an NFL expert. I don't see. I don't understand what the NFL would see in Fromm right now. I honestly don't. Is it possible I'm wrong? Of course it is. I'm not an NFL scout or whatever. I don't see how Fromm, in my opinion, if Fromm goes pro after this year, he'll be like the 7th or 8th quarterback taken. And I don't understand why you would come out early just to get drafted in the 3rd or 4th round. But, I think Tua still gets taken ahead of him even despite the injury. Joe Burrow. Jacob Eason, I think, will go ahead of him. Justin Herbert. There's 2 or 3 others. I think Fromm probably comes back. Thank you for the super chat, sir. Appreciate it. Tyrants, thank you for the super chat. Great stream as always, Lou. Keep it up, man. Thank you for the kind words, buddy. Appreciate that. And back to the phones here. See what you guys have to say. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou and 2.
Good morning, Uncle Lou. This is Tom from Michigan. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, what's up,
Uncle
Tom?
Lou, I'm going to bring you in. I'm not talking to him.
Hey,
I really don't want to talk to
your
him.
question first off, Tom versus Fields. Michigan had a dilemma about 20 years ago against Brady versus Henson. I forgot how that worked out. But second off, hey, you guys, Feinbaum said the other day about the Tua injury, and I'm sick about it, probably about as much as you are. He said, if there were more teams in the playoffs, then Tua wouldn't have played. Are you kidding me? In 2012, he was practically begging to get Alabama in that national championship game, which just makes me sick,
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden, he wants like 8 or 16 teams in it because Tua wouldn't have been injured. Feinbaum, put down the homer hat and get a clue, my man.
Yeah, that would be the biggest case of like over exaggeration. Like, I hate that Tua got injured too, but the idea that now you need to suddenly make a bunch of rule changes to the playoffs because Tua got hurt is ridiculous.
No, I totally agree, Lou. And my last thing before I let you go, hey, Buckeyes, things are changing, my man. It's going to happen this year. Later, Uncle Lou.
All right,
Goodbye.
good luck to your Wolverines, man. I'm trying not to fall in a trap because it seems to me that this is the exact same story we saw last year with Michigan. They high hopes in the offseason. They come out, they lose a couple of games. People are giving up on them. Their offense is struggling. And then about halfway through October, it's like a light goes on. Michigan starts playing lights-out football, blows everybody out 5-6 weeks in a row. They get to the Ohio. Michigan was actually favored over Ohio State last year heading into that game, and Ohio State just absolutely destroyed them. And it seems like the same thing is happening this year. All the hype again for Michigan in the offseason. Lose a couple of games early. Everybody forgets about them. Then they blow out Notre Dame, and they've been on a roll ever since. Offense is clicking. So it's going to be almost impossible for me to pick against Ohio State in that game. I'm just tired of getting burned by Michigan, but I've said that before and then got back on the Michigan train, so I don't know. We'll see. Marcus Aurelius, thank you for the super chat, sir. He says, Mutts are overrated, but will still beat LSU. So we're 4th, which you say is overrated, but we're going to beat LSU, so I'm assuming you must think LSU is extremely overrated. If Georgia's overrated at 4, where should we be where we wouldn't be overrated? 8. So what, you think LSU is 9th? This comment isn't making a whole lot of sense. He says, I think Georgia will beat LSU. The D will keep LSU under 21 points, and we all know Fromm can only score 24 points on a good team, so y'all good. So he thinks we're beating LSU 24-20. He must think LSU is about the 11th or 12th best team, I'm assuming, since he thinks UGA is overrated at 4, but still going to beat LSU. Weird flex, bro. Thank you for the super chat, though. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Hey, Uncle Lou. It's Connor. How you doing?
Hey, Connor. I'm doing good. You?
Yeah, I'm doing great. I'm an Aggie fan, you didn't know, and I'm just really excited to be playing Georgia for the first time, and since I can remember. I mean, this is fantastic. I have two questions for you. One, when is the hype and hate video coming out for the Alabama for A&M? Because I've never seen one for my team, and I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, I'm excited too. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I get tired of doing the same teams over and over again. It becomes hard to come up with new material. But since I've never done one for Texas A&M, I shouldn't have a problem coming up with new material. But so that one will be coming out Friday. Those videos usually take me a while to do, so I try to get my videos out around noon usually, but that hype and hate video usually doesn't come out till later in the day.
I can't wait for that. I wish we had our own little character that you do for A&M too. I'm sure you can come up with something funny for that.
Dress up like Gomer Pyle and do push-ups every time somebody scores.
I know. You make fun of our yell practice and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It kind of makes me laugh, so I was thinking you'd come up with something like that. But anyways, I know you were high on our team in the off season. You definitely come down on us, which I can somewhat understand that. I think we're better than you think we are. But my question is, what, if anything, worries you about facing A&M this Saturday?
Well, I do think Jimbo Fisher's a good coach, and I still think Kellen Mond is a good quarterback. He's just way too inconsistent. So what would worry me is that Kellen Mond showed up and played 100% up to his ability. That would worry me.
Right. Like the Clemson game of last year.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's
or LSU.
I don't think he's going to run around like a Justin Fields or anything would, but he is mobile. Like, he can extend plays. We've done a good job of getting pressure on quarterbacks this year. We don't have a lot of sacks, but we've done a great job at forcing quarterbacks to get rid of the ball in a hurry. But Kellen Mond's the type of guy where I think you have to get home on him. You have to sack him because he can extend plays with his legs and move around. And really, if you look over the course of Kellen Mond's career, some of the best plays he's ever made have been those type of plays where it almost looks like he's running for his life. And my favorite thing about Kellen Mond, and I think I even talked about this when I did the Texas A&M video in the offseason, he always has his eyes downfield. Even when he scrambles and runs around, he's always looking downfield. And you just when you think he's going to tuck the ball and run, he throws a 30-yard rope. And last year especially, you guys receivers were just making amazing catches. That Clemson game,
and,
the LSU game, I couldn't believe it. It was unbelievable. And the thing about Texas A&M this year, their record, when I say they're not quite as good as I thought they would be, like, their record is about what I thought it would be. I mean, when you lose 3 games, but they're to Clemson, Alabama, and Auburn, that doesn't make you a terrible team. But the way I've seen A&M play, especially offensively, I thought they would be better offensively than they have been. I know losing your running back early in the season hurts you, but this is an exciting game.
Yeah.
We haven't, like you said, we haven't played you. I'm excited about it. I remember I wanted to go to this game. Yeah, I wanted to go to this game from the time I found out when it was going to be played and all that, and I'm just glad it worked out this year. That it looks like I'm going to be able to go to that one. So I'm excited.
No, absolutely, and I think I get what you're saying as far as like the offense not performing like you want it to perform, or you expected it to perform. But I think we're starting to kind of hit our stride here, and I get it. With like the last couple games, we didn't exactly play a lot of top tier opponents, Mississippi State, Ole Miss. I'm forgetting the other one.
South Carolina.
And we had a close game against Arkansas. Yeah, South Carolina. Excuse me. And we had a close game against Arkansas, but we always play Arkansas close every single year. I don't know what it is. I don't think that's indicative about how our team's supposed to play. But anyways, I think we're getting a lot better. I'm exactly ready to call it. Like, obviously, I'm an Aggie homer, so I'm going for the Aggies to win every single time. I'm not quite ready to call a win over Georgia, but I think it's going to be a competitive game. I think it's going to surprise a lot of people.
Yeah, I made a post. I don't remember if it was on Twitter or a Georgia Facebook group yesterday when I looked the lineup, and then Georgia was favored by 13.5, and I made a post that said, I think I'll just take the under. I don't think I would take Georgia minus 13.5, but I would play the under in that
and I
game.
like his quarterback. Yeah,
Um,
I think he's a guy who's able to win games.
Yeah.
Say all the criticism about Jake Fromm, all that kind of stuff. Sorry, I know I'm dragging on this call, and these people got to get on. But anyways, it should be a good game this Saturday, and go Aggies.
Yeah, thanks for the call. I appreciate it, and don't remember the hype and hate video is not personal; it's just business. But that's my favorite type of fan right there, a guy that can appreciate the trash talk video instead of just getting upset about it. So I appreciate you. I'm glad you found the channel, sir, and thank you for the call. Jesse Encinas, thank you for the super chat, sir. He says the top 4, including Georgia, are definitely the best in the nation. But how do you feel about expanding the playoff? I'm not in favor of expanding the playoff, but I think it is getting expanded in 2024. There's just too much money involved. I do think it will expand. The current deal runs through 2024, and I think it will expand at that time. I'm not in favor of it. We've had 5 years of playoffs. That's 10 first-round games. Only 2 of the 10 first-round games have been within 1 touchdown. In other words, a 4-team playoff has proven to me that there aren't 4 teams capable of winning it all every year, or else these games wouldn't be blowouts. If there's not 4 teams capable of winning it all, I'm pretty sure that means there's not 6 or 8, and I just think we're going to see a lot of lopsided games. There will be some benefits of expanding the playoffs, though. We're going to see a lot more great regular season games. You can already see these teams starting to schedule more and more big non-con games, and the reason they're doing that is because they know the playoffs are expanding, which means 1 loss, in some cases even 2 losses, wouldn't necessarily eliminate you from college football playoff contention. Because I have a feeling what they're going to do is I have a feeling they're going to go to 8 teams. I have a feeling they're going to give every conference champion an automatic bid. They're going to give the highest-ranked group of 5 team an automatic bid. And then the last 2 spots are going to go to the 2 highest-ranked Power 5 teams that did not win their conference. So you can afford to lose a game or 2 as long as they're the good teams. That's making teams be more willing now to go out and schedule some more big non-con games. So the regular season, we might get some better games, but overall, I just wish they would keep it like it is. I think right now, to me, college football has the best regular season of any sport in America. I like the playoffs. They're popular. Do people complain? Yes, but they're still going to complain. If you go to 8 teams, there's still going to be somebody that's ranked 9th, okay? And they're still going to be mad that they're not in, So, like right now, every year we argue over 4, 5, and 6, right? Who should be 4, who should be 5, who should be 6, because 4 gets in. Well, now we're going to be arguing over 8, 9, and 10. 8 will get in. Well, how come 8 is better than 9? Why so we're still going to argue, and to me, that's part of the fun of college football, that it's not all just objective like the NFL is. College football is subjective, and that gives us things to argue about year-round, strength of schedules and comparing teams that haven't played each other and all that, I like that about college football. So we'll see what actually ends up happening, but that's my best guess there. Where are we at? Greatest Ever says, sucks we will miss out on Lou's halftime reaction this week since we'll be at the game. Those videos are too damn funny. You will not miss out on that, sir. I went to the Auburn game last year, and I still did a halftime video and a post-game video right there from the bleachers, and I will do the same thing this year. So you'll still get the halftime and the post-game video. What you won't get on Saturday is the Saturday morning live show, and you may not get as many other reaction videos like if something crazy happens at one of the noon games, I might not be able to make a video about it right then and there. I don't know. I'm going to try to go live several times while I'm there, but it just depends on reception. You get that many people in one area, and a lot of times it makes it hard to go live from my phone because the video will get so choppy because there's so many people using up the internet that's available through the cell phone signals and all that. So I'll try it. I think SEC Nation, isn't SEC Nation going to be there? If that's the case, I'm going to leave real early in the morning. I'll go up there for SEC. Lou Jr.'s never been to SEC Nation or College Game Day. I have. He hasn't. I think SEC Nation is coming. I think I remember hearing that. So we'll leave real early, get up there for SEC Nation. If I can go live, I'll go live. If not, I'll just film a bunch of video while I'm up there and put something together for you guys for the next day. But I'll definitely do a halftime and post-game video. I won't be able to do it live probably. I'll have to film it and then upload it, from right there in the bleachers. But that's what I did last year for the Auburn game, and that's my plan again for this year. Thank you for the super chat. Slim Shady, thank you, sir. Prop bet, over under 17 players suspended in this year's Miami versus FIU game. I hope we don't see another fight like we did. Seems like several years ago now, but who knows? You never know with Miami. Brock Tony, thank you for the super chat. I try to call you, but it takes me to hold, then stops. Yeah, there's only a certain number of people that can be on hold at one time, and once the phone lines are filled up, then that's what happens. So you have to just keep trying and see if you can get through. There's 6 phone lines, so 1 person on the phone and 5 people on hold at any given time. So as soon as one person drops off, it's just kind of luck of the draw who calls in next after that to get on. Thank you for the super chat, though. Greatest ever Dogs still haven't given up more than 2 touchdowns in a game all year. Best overall defense. I think Georgia, Ohio State, and Clemson have the best defenses of any of the playoff contending teams, and that's why one of those 3 teams is winning the national title. Who won the national title in 2018? The team with the number 1 overall defense, Clemson. Who won the title in 2017? The team with the number 1 overall defense, Alabama. The number 1 overall defense right now is Ohio State, but Clemson and Georgia are both right up there. That's why I think one of those 3 teams is winning it. Ohio State and Clemson obviously would be considered betting favorites over Georgia because they also have elite offenses, but we'll see. There's a lot of football left to play. Nick Mason, thank you for the super chat, sir, although I don't see the comment. So I'm not sure what happened with that. Oh, here it is. Got into an argument with a UF fan who thinks Mullen is a better coach than Kirby. He pointed out that it's 3-0. He points out Butch is 1-1 versus UGA. Well, Butch is not 1-1 versus UGA because Butch was at Tennessee for 4 years. So, but I do think Butch Jones was 2-2 versus UGA. Listen, if Florida fans are happy with Dan Mullen, then that's fine with me. But he's been a head coach for 10 years and he's got no division titles. At some point, you have to win something. So I in no way think Dan Mullen is a better coach than Kirby Smart. You got to win something at some point. Dan Mullen is Jim Harbaugh. That's all he is. Jim Harbaugh has been a head coach in the Power 5 at 2 different schools for a 10-year period, Stanford and Michigan. 0 division titles. Dan Mullen, same thing. So, if you want people to take you seriously, win something, okay? He's all, we were in the West. Well, LSU's in the West. They're getting ready to win the division. Gus Malzahn doesn't know where he's at half the time. He manages to win the West. So, win the West. So, complaining that you can't win the West because Alabama's there, well, guess where you are now? You're in the East now, and guess who's there? Georgia. So, you have the same excuse to fall back on. Florida man. Jeff Holloway, thank you for the super chat, sir. Going to be a rainy day in Athens on Saturday. Bring your rain jackets. Oh, don't tell me that. Don't tell me that. Don't tell me that. I might go to the Georgia Tech game. I looked at the weather the other day, and it was 60 degrees and no rain. That makes me mad. I honestly don't know if I'll go if it rains. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Good morning, Uncle Lou. McGee Sports Score. How are you doing?
Doing good. What's up, buddy? Who y'all losing to this week?
Hey, I have a few questions real quick. My first question is when Oregon and Utah, let's say both of them go in there with 1 loss, which I'm pretty sure is going to happen just looking at their schedules. Do you think whoever wins that game will prefer to blow out the other team or win a close game?
What do you think?
Blow them out.
What possible benefit is it to not blowing them out?
I mean, I don't know. I'm going to be honest with you. Looking at the rankings and the committee, I don't think they have a criteria really, or like a real standard criteria. So I don't know what they're really thinking in there. because they put USC at 23, and if I'm Urban Meyer, that concerns me because that means they might keep Clay Helton, and they're going to sit up there and rank USC. They put a 4-loss Iowa State team in there that I don't think should be ranked either. So I don't know what the committee's thinking. So I don't really know, like, if it would matter. That's why I'm asking. I mean, obviously, a blowout would be better.
Why does USC? Okay, you're gonna have to. What does USC being ranked 23rd and Iowa State being ranked have to do with whether or not Oregon would prefer to blow out Utah or beat them in a close game in the Pac-12 title game? What kind of leap are you taking here? What I mean, what do you what?
I think the reason why USC was ranked because of their win over Utah.
What does that have to do with? You called up and said, basically, do you think Oregon would rather blow Utah out or beat them in a close game? What does? And then you went on some, bro. I am dumber than I was 5 minutes ago. I'm dead serious. I like you. Call all the time, and I hope you'll call back again. This was a giant L, buddy. So okay. You're gonna have to try again. That was really bad. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Hey, good morning, Uncle Lou. I have a few questions about just your take on Joe Burrow and the transfer to LSU from Ohio State. What do you think about that? And I'll make I know that happened 2 years ago, and I'll make my points on about Joe Burrow.
What do I think about Burrow leaving Ohio State?
Yeah, like in a good way. Like, you know how he's a grad transfer. He transferred down there. Like, and if you were a Buckeye fan, like, how would you take that?
I wouldn't care. Dwayne Haskins broke every Big Ten passing record known to man last year.
Yeah, see, great point. So that's the kind of the point that I made to, because I have a couple of Georgia fans where I live too, and they're saying, we wish that Justin Fields didn't, transfer or whatever, and I had some say, I hate that guy for transferring, and in my opinion, I think it's ridiculous to hate somebody for transferring. Like, I wish nothing but the best for Joe Burrow when he transferred last year. I was rooting for him all year last year. I was even pulling for Ed Ogeron when he was on the hot seat when they lost to Troy. I was like, man, give this guy a couple more years. Let's see what happens. Now look at him.
Yeah, I mean, we had a 5-star outside linebacker transfer to Florida 3 months ago, and I wish him nothing but the best. Now, when he plays Georgia next year, I hope he has 0 tackles and 0 sacks. Not because he transferred away from Georgia, though. Like, I hope everybody on Florida's defense has 0 tackles and 0 sacks against Georgia every single year. So the idea of hating someone just because they transferred, I think is is just ridiculous. And part of the problem with the Justin Fields transfer, listen, if Jake Fromm was going to throw for 4,000 yards this year and 40 touchdowns, nobody would care. These people that are crying about Justin Fields, they wouldn't care. But he's not. That's one of the reasons why they're so upset, because they look at Justin Fields, they know he's going to be in New York City on Heisman night with an undefeated Ohio State team, and it burns them up. That's what it is. That's why Alabama doesn't care that Jalen Hurts transferred, because they have an elite quarterback already right behind him that they know is going to put up crazy numbers, and be a Heisman candidate, which he was until he went down. That just sort of is what it is, but. So.
Yeah, and honestly, and just being the man that I am, like, I respect the kid's decisions regardless, whether they transfer or not, because, if he's going to play somewhere else, I'm going to pull for him to do better. Now, obviously, Tate Martell's not starting, but I was hoping and wishing for the best for him too. So anybody that leaves a program, they're just fun. They're fun to watch, even though they're not on my Ohio State squad, my team squad that I love and enjoy, but. I wish them nothing but the best, and it'd be cool to see Georgia and Ohio State in a semi or even a national championship. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I agree with you. Thank you for the call, sir. I mean, listen, the idea that a kid signs somewhere when he's 18 and that means he has to stay there until he either goes to the NFL, graduates, or quits playing or whatever is just, it's just ridiculous. This isn't the NFL. These players aren't under contract, and as far as I'm concerned, they can leave and transfer and go where they want. Now, some of the transfer rules I have issues with. I think they just need to. I think they just need to simplify the transfer rules. If a kid wants to transfer, let him play one time. You can transfer one time and play right away. No questions asked. You don't need a waiver. Doesn't matter the reason. Doesn't matter where you go. You can transfer one time. You don't have to sit out. You can play right away. You decide you want to transfer again, then you got to sit out a year. That would simplify it. That would do away with all the secrecy and the conspiracy theories that revolve around transfers and who gets waivers and who doesn't. And I mean, coaches do this all the time. Look at Manny Diaz, head coach at Miami. Dude takes the job as Temple head coach, and like 9 days later, he said, "Nope, just kidding," and goes and takes the job at Miami. So he basically transferred after 9 days. No one cares, but a 19-year-old kid who's riding the bench somewhere decides he wants to transfer, and all of a sudden we're mad about it. It doesn't make any sense to me either. It makes little to no sense, honestly. Ryan Parker, thank you for the super chat. God bless Uncle Lou and God bless the United States of America. Our country, 'tis of thee. Yeah. Thank you. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Hi, Uncle Lou. This is Brock Tony. How are you doing?
Doing great.
I'm an Oklahoma fan, if you didn't know, and I just have a couple questions to ask you, if that's okay.
Yep, go ahead.
So you said, we're only going to make the Sugar Bowl, but, what would be the best case scenario for Oklahoma to try to make the playoff this year?
Oh, God. You would need either Oregon or Arizona to lose a regular season game, but then win the Pac-12. That would eliminate the Pac-12. That might get you in.
Yeah. All right. So, what do you think of, the transfer portal? Jalen Hurts going to Alabama, Justin Fields going to Ohio State, and, all
I don't have a problem. The transfer portal is nothing but a website. I don't have a problem with it at all.
Yes. Same thing, because I hate when people say it's ruining college football, and it's just absolutely ridiculous in my opinion.
I mean, there are some obvious disadvantages to teams because you're not able to develop backup players like you used to do, especially highly rated backup players. But times are changing. I mean, it used to be – think about how rare it used to be for any freshman to start at any position, much less quarterback. Now it seems like you got 3 or 4 teams in every conference every year that are starting freshman quarterbacks. So things, times have just changed now. The idea that these highly rated players are going to come somewhere and sit around for a while, times have changed. That's just not the case. But the transfer portal is nothing but a website. It's just somewhere where you post your name. That's it, and other teams can look at it and decide if they want you or not.
Yeah.
That's not the issue. The issue are the rules and the waivers and who gets a waiver and who doesn't, and those are the things I think need to be simplified. But the transfer portal itself, that's literally just a website. But good luck to Oklahoma the rest of the way, and thank you for the call too. Speaking of the transfer portal, where's is this the transfer protocol?
Manny Diaz didn't know how to recruit. Guess what? Who did y'all get in the transfer protocol?
Nuts and honey.
Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Good morning.
Yes, it is.
How are you today?
Doing good. You?
Yep. Matt from Pennsylvania by way of Valdosta calling in again. Thanks for taking the call.
Yes, sir.
I'm kind of scatterbrained tonight, so I'll touch on a few things quick, as I know time is limited. I know you said earlier in the show, what value would the NFL have in Jake Fromm? Doesn't make sense to you that he would go? That's not what I want to ask you. I want to ask you, do you want him to come back? If you was a coach, would you want Jake Fromm to come back?
I do, because we don't have any other option right now. My preference would have been that DeJuan Mathis was healthy this year and could have got and could have played in his 4 games or whatever and developed, but that didn't work out. So if Fromm leaves, then whoever started at the University of Georgia next year would have a grand total of 0 experience at Georgia. So that would not be good, whether it was Carson Beck or DeJuan Mathis.
I guess it might have been the last time we talked. Might have been the time before that. You said something very poignant. Jake Fromm's never won a game for UGA. Has he yet?
I think an argument can be made that he won the Auburn game. We had 3 touchdowns. They were all Fromm passes. Now, I want to say right off the bat, he had 110 yards passing in that game, and 51 of them came on 1 play. So I'm not trying to act like he was that he, blew Auburn out of the water or anything like that. But, when you win a game, when you score 3 touchdowns and they're all 3 passing, I think you got to give Fromm some credit for that. I also think he played really good in the Florida game last year and this year. So I would give him a lot of credit for those 3 games. Yeah, I would give him credit for that.
Pastor Wolf sealed it. I love me some Jake Fromm. Don't get me wrong. The guy's done a lot. It kind of ties in with the ongoing discussion about Fields. And the last time I spoke to you, I know I said it, and I said it loud for the people in the back. We're going to rue the day. It's coming. But damn. Jake Fromm's got a playoff win.
Yeah.
Jake Fromm's has led us to win the East 2 years in a row, right?
3 now.
3. Now, 3 times. That's the first time anyone's done the East since Spurrier. So,
yeah.
I'm conflicted on how I feel about Jake Fromm. It's like,
well, I remember those Spurrier teams from the 90s, and you probably do too. And it was pretty easy to give those quarterbacks a lot of credit because they were throwing for 4,000 yards. It's just I like winning too. And we'll see. Georgia, everything Georgia wanted to do this year, they still have a chance to do. We'll see. If I'm just taking my Georgia homer shades off and I'm looking at a team like Ohio State or Clemson, they are dominant on both sides of the ball. Georgia is not. Now, defensively, Georgia can compete with anybody in America, period. I would put Georgia's defense up against anybody's.
Yeah.
Offensively,
I think we have an A+ defense.
Yeah, there's 30 or 40 teams in America with better offenses than Georgia. And so I don't, I think we have a really good chance against LSU because they don't have a good defense. So I think Georgia will be able to move the ball on them through the air and on the ground. I think it'll be a pretty low-scoring game, something like the Auburn-LSU game. We might not win, but I think I think that's a good matchup for Georgia. I have a hard time imagining how Georgia is going to score 30 points on Clemson or Ohio State. I don't see it.
All right. Now, you mentioned it earlier in tonight's show. If it shakes out that it's Georgia versus Ohio State, you know what the narrative is going to be in the media. You know what the narrative is going to be online. You know what the narrative is going to be on your show. If we lose that game, you said it's going to be problematic. How big of a problem are we looking at? Put it in a recruiting context.
Well, I'm not sure. The 2 positions that worry me with recruiting the most are quarterback and wide receiver. Because if I'm if I'm the next Jake Fromm, I'm begging Georgia to take me because not very many other schools will want me. But if I'm the next Justin Fields, I'm not coming to Georgia under any circumstances. If I'm the next Blaylock or George, look, somebody's going to really have to explain to me how we got Blaylock and Pickens because I can't figure it out.
Well, I'll tell you. That's my opinion. I'll tell you. I think in his heart he was a Georgia fan, just like Fields was. Fields came because he wanted to go to Georgia. He wanted to go to Georgia, and his inner circle told him, hey, you're a generational talent. You're once in a lifetime. You will beat out this white boy for this job as a true freshman. Turns out that's not the way it works. Then he goes to Ohio State, and he walks on water. Something's not translating, Lou. Something don't translate.
Well, I mean, it is. Look, I'm not here to make excuses. I think we should have done whatever we could have done to keep Fields. With that being said, though, if you put Jake Fromm in an Ohio State offense, he's going to suck. If you put Justin Fields in Georgia's offense, he's going to suck. But you don't recruit and sign the world's greatest square and then try to force him into a round hole. That's stupid coaching. That's a bad coaching decision. Kirby Smart had to know that Chaney was leaving. I don't know. I may not ever know. I don't know if they weren't getting along. It's very weird to me that Chaney left.
First conversation.
It's very strange to me that he left.
I called in this show,
yeah.
we talked about
Kirby had to know he was leaving. It appears right now.
He was an integral part.
Yeah, it appears right now that what should have happened is Kirby should have went out and hired a real offensive coordinator that knew what to do with Justin Fields. That's my opinion. I get killed about it, and that's fine. And I hope Georgia wins the rest of their games. And if we play Ohio State, I hope we beat them 100-0, and Justin Fields doesn't complete a single pass. I mean, and anybody that doubts that is just an idiot. But it's hard to deny what we have seen so far this year from each of those two quarterbacks. Fromm has struggled in over half his games this year, period. I mean, there's just no denying that. He's a third-year starting quarterback, and he has struggled in about half his games. He completed less than 50% against the barn. He's done that a couple of times this year. Justin Fields is completing passes at a higher percentage than Fromm, and that was always Fromm's crutch. Well, he's accurate. You know, he doesn't make mistakes. He doesn't have the all-world arm. He doesn't have the athletic ability of some of the other quarterbacks, but he's accurate, and he doesn't turn the ball over. Well, guess what? Justin Fields is completing passes at a higher percentage, and he has one turnover compared to Fromm's 4. So it just appears that a lot of the narrative surrounding Justin Fields was wrong. You know, the whole he can't read a defense, he can't make throws, he's inaccurate. Somebody should have been brought in that knew what they were doing with Justin Fields. If you already knew you were losing Jim Chaney and you knew, and listen, those coaches had to know what they had with they had to know. He wasn't in Athens, unable to complete a pass in practice, but then shows up in Columbus and is a Heisman candidate. I don't buy it. I just don't buy it. They had to have known. The coaches had to have known. Yeah. So we'll see.
Now you're digging into some serious philosophical coaching deficiencies, because you know what you got and you don't do what you need to do to keep the talent like that, like you just said. And in the spring game, his first spring game when he came out, I mean, he wowed. I mean, it's always been there. We're going to rue the day. Before you let me go, one last question. LSU, you feel pretty good.
I think we have a good chance there. Their defense really is that bad, I think. I think if we play well offensively, I'm confident we can score in the 20s.
What does well offensively mean for us this year?
No turnovers, and we got to be able to run the ball.
Okay. Well, what was it? Who'd they play last week? Ole Miss?
Mm-hmm.
LSU gave up like 300-plus yards on the ground. Am I wrong?
No, they gave up 400 rushing.
400?
I think 30. So now, to be fair to LSU, Ole Miss has a quarterback that we should have, by the way. He wanted to come to Georgia too. And you know what we told him?
Yeah.
We wouldn't even give him a scholarship. And now look at him. We were gonna make him gray shirt. I don't want to get into the whole gray shirt and blue shirt thing because it's confusing to try to explain. But we basically were gonna make him not enroll until September of this year so that we could not give him a scholarly for this year. And it's different than a walk on. But anyway, and he said thanks but no thanks and went to Ole Miss and put 400 yards on
the number one team in the country.
On LSU, yeah, and then we lose Justin Fields and Dwayne Mathis has a brain injury, and we're one sprained ankle away from starting Stetson Trashcan Bennett at quarterback while John Reese Plumlee is putting up 400 yards on LSU. It's just going real bad.
But that right now. Yeah, you're making me scared. Hot take on recruiting: would you rather take Jordan Burch or Darnell Washington? and then that'll be it.
I like Jordan Birch. I would be happy with either one. We've struggled really with linemen under Kirby Smart and recruiting as well as we've recruited. We've missed on a lot there, so we'll see. I don't get into recruiting too much, honestly, until December because it's not good for my blood pressure. But thank you for the call. I have enough issues with college football. I don't have the time or the health to deal with all the flip-flops that go on in the recruiting world. Let me catch up on some super chats and that. I'm scared to read them after just talking about Fromm and Fields for 10 minutes, but I'm going to read them anyway. Mike Bridges, would Eason have played better in our offense than Fromm if he didn't get hurt? That's hard to say because I was an Eason fan, and now Eason's ceiling is, Eason's got more talent than Fromm will ever have, but there is something missing with Eason. I don't know if it's motivation. I don't know what it is. But even this year, he has disappointed me. Even this year in the Pac-12, I still think somebody's going to take him in the NFL because there's not 5 people on planet Earth with an arm like Jacob Eason. Someone's going to take him. He has disappointed me though. I'm not sure if he could have done that much better or better at all than what Fromm has done. And I didn't always feel that way about Eason. It just seems to me like he doesn't I don't even know what it is. It's frustrating to watch somebody like Eason that has that much talent, and for some reason it's not translating to the field. I don't know what it is with him, so I'm not sure I would take Eason over Fromm. If I'm an NFL GM and I'm choosing to draft either Eason or Fromm in the 3rd or 4th round, I'm taking Eason. And I'm going to say, I get my offensive coaches to coach it, whatever. But we'll see. I do think Eason will get drafted ahead of Fromm if Fromm were to come out this year, because I think Eason will come out this year. Warzone, thank you for the super chat, sir. Hey, Lou, big-time Florida fan here. Just want to say congrats on winning the East. I love the channel and what you do. Keep it amazing work. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Another good year for Florida. I give Florida fans a hard time around here because, let's face it, we're bitter rivals. But this will be your second, 2 straight years with 10-plus wins. I think there's a chance you make a New Year's Six bowl. You might actually be better than last year, but you could get left out of a New Year's Six depending on what happens with LSU and Georgia and how many SEC teams make the playoffs. Because Alabama's going. If Alabama doesn't make the playoffs, they're going to the Sugar Bowl. Where does that leave Florida? Will another New Year's Six bowl take Florida? What if Georgia loses the SEC championship game? If Georgia loses the SEC championship game, I don't think Florida goes to a New Year's Six bowl. I think LSU will be in the playoffs. Alabama and Georgia will be in New Year's Six bowls, and Florida won't. But it would still be a really good year. It wouldn't mean that Florida was worse than last year, even though you land in a worse bowl. It would just be kind of dumb luck, not enough spots type of thing. We'll see, though. Greatest ever, thank you for the super chat. Who takes over for Swift if he leaves this year? Next year it'll be because Harrian's gone too. So next year at the running back position, you're looking at Zamir White, James Cook, and Kenny McIntosh. After that, it's going to be whatever freshman we bring in. And freshman running back can play. You bring in a good freshman running back, they can play right away. We've seen that over and over, not just at Georgia, but at a bunch of teams. So, Milton, whoever else, we're going to sign somebody else too. We'll see. It probably won't be Zach Evans. I wish it was, but we'll bring somebody else in too, and so we'll see. But you're 1-2 right now. I think. I'm not comparing Zamir and James Cook to Chubb and Sony Michel, but I think you get that same sort of combination with those two. Zamir White's a big, tough, physical guy, sort of the Nick Chubb type guy. He can do a lot of damage between the tackles. And James Cook is more of a third down speedster, off the tackle, sweeps type of runner. So I think you'll see Zamir and James Cook used in a similar way that Chubb and Sony Michel were used. I'm not trying to say they're as good as those two, though. Just comparing sort of the types of running backs that they are. CS Hillbilly, thank you for the super chat, sir. I know you don't think Bama will get in, so where and who do you think they might play in a bowl game? Oklahoma in the Sugar Bowl is that would be a dream matchup for the TV networks. Well, no, because Tua's out. But they would still love to see Jalen Hurts come back and play Alabama. So I have a feeling if they can work it out that way, that that's what they'll do. I think it will be Alabama and Oklahoma in the Sugar Bowl. Greatest ever. Thank you for the super chat. I love all these Bama fans keep saying UJ couldn't beat Bama. Don't have to this year. Ha ha ha. Yeah, congratulations to Bama. They've somehow managed to win their division once out of the last 3 years. So shout out to Bama for that. Dude, one scrub says Fromm has one okay receiver this year. They drop everything. Well, I hear that excuse a lot, but here's the problem. Last year, Fromm had a roster full of NFL receivers and tight ends. Nauta, Godwin, Miko Hardman, Ridley, right? He threw for 2,800 yards. 2,800 and 30 touchdowns. He's on pace to throw for 2,800 yards again this year and about 22 or 23 touchdowns. So the yardage is the same this year and last year. So it makes it a lot harder to believe that it's just the receivers. It's Chaney's fault. In 2017, he was just a freshman, so we were babying him, and we didn't want him throwing a lot. That's why. Last year, we ran the ball all the time, and it was Chaney's fault again. This year, it's Coley's fault and the receiver's fault. So, at some point, you have a third-year quarterback. I mean, the idea that an elite quarterback has to have elite wide receivers to be any good is sort of defeats the purpose of having an elite quarterback. I mean, an elite quarterback should make the receivers good, in my opinion. Brock Tony, thank you for the super chat. Who has a worse defense, Oklahoma, LSU, or Alabama? I would say Oklahoma, then LSU, then Alabama. In that order, and two. All right, I'm going to take these last 4 calls, it looks like. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Good morning, Lou. It's Matt from the Color Rush podcast. How you doing tonight?
Yeah, what's up, buddy?
Hey, I just wanted to call in. I called in last Thursday. I told you.
Yeah, you made me mad. Don't do that again today.
I'm not gonna. I'm here to apologize.
No. Never apologize. Never. You didn't do anything wrong. You only have to apologize if you do something wrong. You didn't do anything wrong. You just made me mad.
All right, that's fair. All right. Well, obviously, Texas A&M fan from the Color Rush podcast. At the beginning of the year, obviously, we all looked at the schedule and brutal Clemson, Alabama, LSU, Georgia, all in the same year, and everyone looked at it and basically said, "All right, we'll go 8-4 this year. We'll lose a game we're not supposed to lose, maybe 2 of those, and we'll beat maybe 1, hopefully 2 of those top 4 teams." Right.
Right.
And if I'm not mistaken, I believe there was a point where those 4 teams were ranked numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4 in an AP poll, but I can't completely confirm that. But I'll tell you what, as far as we already lost our bad game to Auburn, and we got 2 of those good games left, and if I was to pick between us upsetting either Georgia or LSU, do I think either one's going to happen? No. But which one do I think is more likely to happen? I've got to give it to this game, just because I don't think there's any way in hell that we have the capability to stop LSU's offense.
Right. But you can score on them, though.
My concern isn't necessarily that. It's the fact that Texas A&M's O-line is not good this year. They lost their center last year, Eric McCoy, to the draft. I think he was a second-round pick. And then all year this year, Kellen Mond hasn't been able to run the ball near as effectively because he's been scrambling. He hasn't had time to throw the ball. He made a lot more mistakes this year. And personally, I'm concerned against both teams, Georgia and LSU. But I think that's going to be a big impact as far as playing keep up with LSU as opposed to Georgia where, yeah, your defense is stout, but obviously your offense does have – other than the run game, your run game is fantastic, and the passing game seems to be hit or miss week in or week out. And I just feel more comfortable in Texas A&M being able to keep up with Georgia than having to keep up with LSU.
Yeah, that makes sense if you can figure out a way to score on Georgia.
My biggest thing about scoring on Georgia is wide receivers and keeping the pocket clean enough for enough time to make plays downfield. Texas A&M has been disappointing this year as far as taking deep shots. But hopefully if we can get, and that's mainly because the pocket hasn't held enough for Kellen Mond to look field for those shots. But I'll tell you what, in the past, I think 3 weeks, Jalen Wydermyer, our starting tight end, has finally woken up, and Kellen made a pretty decent connection over those past weeks. I want to say he had something like 6 catches for 90 yards or 100 yards against South Carolina this week. And I think that's going to be a big threat down the middle. He's something like 6'6", 280 pounds, or 250 pounds, something huge. So I think a tight end is going to be a big problem for Georgia down the middle if we can get the ball out quick.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Thank you for the call, sir. It should be a good game. I'm excited about it. First time playing you guys. All right, 813, you're up next, then 404, and then 614. And those are going to be the last 3 calls for tonight. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Yeah, did you watch the I'm sure you watched the ranking show. Before I even talk about the scenario they put up at the very end, because it was ridiculous, they had Minnesota finishing 12-1, beating Ohio State. At least this was Kirk and Jesse Palmer. And they actually had Ohio State getting in the playoff over Minnesota if they went 12-1. And I get it, Ohio State would have beat Penn State, beat Michigan, probably have a better resume and look good, and actually dominate every single opponent they played this year. But how could you not put Minnesota in if they win the head-to-head?
Yeah, that would be wild. But the good news is we don't have to worry about that happening.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. But to me, that just made absolutely no sense. But
yeah,
that's all I wanted to say.
Okay, thank you for the call. I appreciate it. Yeah, that's completely ridiculous. It would be the same thing as having as Minnesota and Penn State now. Makes no sense. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Hey, good morning, Uncle Lou. How about them dogs this past weekend?
Dogs were great. They won 21-14 on the road at the barn.
Yeah, I know. That was a great game. That was a really good game. I mean, another game where our defense just went above and beyond throughout the course of the game. I mean, they did give up a couple touchdowns in the fourth quarter, but that's because they were playing soft shell, prevent defense. And when they finally needed a stop, I mean, Auburn had 2 chances towards the end of the game to come back and tie it when our defense had 4 down stops, and we stopped them in that game. They came through clutch, and we made the plays we needed to do to win. But, yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed watching it. But, yeah, I mean, the game was like what a lot of people would expect the score to be. I mean, a lot of people thought it was going to be a low-scoring defensive struggle. But yeah, Fromm, he struggled in that game. But, I mean, both teams have a really good defense. And, I mean, the only thing that really stuck out to me, I remember you mentioned it before, is that they had like a 11-3 announced in that game. And they really need to work on that in the future if they're going to have success like in the SEC championship, and if they win and go to the playoffs, they'll have to improve on that. But anyway, let's see. I guess the other thing I wanted to say is that I heard you say you're going to the Georgia Texas A&M game this week. How much are you looking forward to going to it?
Like on a scale of 1 to 10, 8.
Well, not yet. All right, but yeah, that's the first time we played Texas A&M since they've been in the conference. It's weird, with all these new alignments they've done. Anyway, I just wanted to bring that up, and I hope you enjoy going to the game. Hopefully, it'll be another good game for Georgia. And good luck, sir. It's good talking to you. And have a great day, all right?
You too. Thank you for the call. I appreciate that. Yeah. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Lou, it's Peyton. How are you?
Man, I'm great.
Great. So I do want to talk about the stretch run Ohio State has, specifically Penn State. So in my opinion, this weekend, keys to the game, obviously, 17.5, 18 is a pretty big spread. I think the key is going to be if we can run the ball. Obviously, we've been great running it all year. Penn State might be the best front we've played. they probably are the best front we played all year, but their secondary is probably the biggest hole of the team. So I do think we can throw it on them regardless. But if to cover, I think we're going to have to be able to run it, and that's going to be a huge key. Obviously, on defense, having an angry Chase Young back is going to help big time.
What's he angry about?
That's probably the biggest weak. Just not being able to play, even though it is his fault. I'm sure he's eager to get back out on the field, and that's huge because the weakness of their offense is probably their offensive line. They have some legit skill players. Obviously, hopefully for them, Hamler plays. You hate to see him get hurt. He's a big time weapon, and they're pretty deep at receiver overall. But those are my thoughts on just Penn State. Anything you'd like to add?
Can I take the 18 or what? I mean, Ohio State's 9-1 against the spread. The only one they didn't cover was Rutgers.
Yeah, we're the best team in the spread against the spread in the country this year. So I wouldn't be betting against us, but that's coming from an Ohio State fan. But I would not bet against us.
And what's the line going to be next week?
Against Michigan?
Yeah.
So on the road in a rivalry game, I'd expect it to be at least 2 touchdowns.
Oof. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw, but these Michigan fans, man, are getting cocky. I don't know if you saw Don Brown, the Michigan D coordinator, what he said.
It's last year all over again with Michigan, ain't it? Isn't this exactly what happened last year with Michigan? I mean, exactly.
Well, yeah, they lose a game or two at the beginning of the year.
All the hype in the offseason. Then they lose a couple of games. People forget about them. Oh, here we go again. No offense. They get hot in the middle of October. Then all of a sudden they start scoring 45 points a game and blowing everybody out. I mean, hell, they were favored over you last year.
Yeah, I believe it was 4.5.
Something like that. But so I mean, I'm not saying they're going to be favored this year, but the sort of the arc of Michigan's season is exactly the same this year as it was last year. I mean, Michigan. I know you hate. You're an Ohio State fan. You have to hate Michigan. They're playing their best football right now, just like they were last year. And I have every reason to believe that Ohio State's going to roll in there and beat them by 3 touchdowns again.
Yeah, and I mean, I'll get to Michigan more, of course, next week. But I do think on the line of scrimmage that plays big time in our favor. I'm just going to say that right now.
Right.
But yeah, I know some of them. I'm like, haven't you seen this movie before? Don Brown saying Ohio State better be careful. These were hitting our stride. Michigan. I'm sure every coach and player in that locker room should believe that. You're on the team, so if you want a chance at winning, yeah, you should believe that. But
well, since you brought up Justin Fields, and we haven't talked about him any. Now, clearly, Joe Burrows is the front runner for the Heisman, right?
And he'll probably win it.
Okay. I don't know. I can't think of anybody else they should even invite other than Justin Fields to the ceremony. Who else should they invite?
The only
you agree Justin Fields is second?
The only guy I can think of. What was that?
Do you agree Justin Fields is second right now?
Yeah, I would put him. I would put him a distant second. Burrow had his big time moment against Alabama. Fields was going to have to put up some crazy numbers too.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask you. Let's assume Ohio State is going to win the next 2 weeks, Penn State and Michigan. What kind of total yardage and how many touchdowns would Fields need to make people even have to think about it? Because, I mean, right now it's Burrow and it's not close. So what would Fields have to do over the next 2 weeks to make people at least think about it?
I would say total yards a game, probably 400 to 500. He'd probably.
What if he had 800
maybe
yards?
400.
What if he has 800 yards and 8 touchdowns? That's not unrealistic.
It might be feasible. Now, who knows? Maybe this probably won't happen, but if Joe Burrow loses to Texas A&M, that probably won't happen. But that might. But you combine the two, that would give him a puncher's chance at least. I believe.
Yeah, I think Burrow's going to end up winning it. I think it'll be Burrows, Justin Fields, and I hope they invite Jonathan Taylor. I think he deserves to be invited to the ceremony, even though everyone knows he's not going to win it. And I have a feeling they're going to invite Tua, but Jalen Hurts, because everyone just seems to be in love with him because of just sort of what all's happened to him. But there's no chance he's not winning it.
Yeah, the thing with Taylor is he's, obviously playing for Wisconsin. They're a pretty good team year in and year out. They're usually not a playoff contender, so that doesn't help them. But that guy has taken so much wear and tear with the way they run their offense through him, and yet he's still so efficient. You look at his stats; he's up over 7-8 yards a carry. You remember back in 2012 when they invited A.J. McCarron to the ceremony?
Yeah.
Just as a career tribute. If you're going to do that with A.J. McCarron, who is throwing for 2,600 yards a year, you should be able to do that with Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, I think so too. I don't expect Jonathan Taylor to win it, but it would be nice. It would be nice to invite him. Peyton, I got to let you go, buddy. Thank you for the call. I really appreciate it. All right, that's going to be it for the call-in portion of the show in that. Shout out to all the callers tonight. I really appreciate it. Let me run through some of these super chats here, and then we'll see what's going on in the chat section with you heathens in there. Yeah. Connor Ross, thank you for the super chat. Lou, good talking to you. One last thing. Can you let us know how well the Aggies travel for this game? Interested to hear your impression. I have been hearing as far back as a year ago that there will be a lot of Texas A&M fans at this game. There were huge travel groups that were put together. Buses. This was things. I remember seeing things on Facebook where you could sign up for these huge groups that were going. So I expect to see a lot of Texas A&M fans at the game. I mean, by a lot, 10 to 15,000 maybe. Hillbilly says, I know you don't think Bama will get in, so who do you think they might play? I think I already said that. Yeah, Oklahoma in the Sugar Bowl. Where are we at? Does Ohio State cover the 18-point spread? That's tough for me. I've been rolling with Ohio State, and it's been working out pretty well for me. 18. I'll tell you this: I'll either take Ohio State minus 18, or I just won't play the game. I would not take Penn State plus 18. Maybe that doesn't make any sense, but that's sort of how I look at games sometimes. Like, I can see if Ohio State plays its best game, they will roll Penn State, I think. If for some reason Penn State shows up and plays out of their minds, maybe they keep it close. But I could, if I was going to risk money, I would risk it on Ohio State's side in this game, not Penn State's side. So we'll see. Biscuit, thank you for the super chat, sir. The Biscuit is my smartest and most compelling subscriber. Thank you for the super chat, Biscuit, and I'll go ahead and agree with you. How about that? Yeah. Let's see who stuck around to the end tonight. Philip Wells, Tyler Guthrie, People Baffle Me, Casey Belleville, good morning. Dirty Bird Special, Zach Bolton, No Limit Soldier. Somebody done changed their name because I know we didn't have a mod called No Limit Soldier. So who is that? I need you to tell me who you are. Slim Shady, good morning. KO, Hunter Kelly, The Biscuit, Dogs Fan 365, Nothing New. What's up, buddy? Mike Taylor, Brian Harrion in the house. Beepity. Yeah, one of my favorite dogs. Rob Dog, what's up, buddy? Rob Dog says, get you a rain suit. It's fun. I've been to more than my share of fair games in the rain. I'm not interested. Listen, people, I say this and people say, oh, he just says that. I don't enjoy going to games like I used to when I was younger. It's not that I don't like going to games. I do. But I also like sitting here and watching 15 games a day on TV and eating what I want to eat and doing what I want to do and not being surrounded by 100,000 people. Like, maybe it's because I'm getting old and cranky or something. I don't know. So I don't know. I really don't. If it's going to rain, I mean, I'll keep an eye on the weather now. If it's really going to rain, I may have to rethink what I'm doing. I don't know for sure, but we'll see. Thank you, though, for the comment. Arlen Martin, what's up, buddy? Ryan Parker. Jordan Bowman. Good morning. Chess Hall, what's up, buddy? You're my favorite YouTuber. Thank you, sir. You're my favorite commenter. How about that? Dirty Bird Special, nothing new. I love sitting games at home. Love my son, but going to his college football game is hard. However, rude, his mom doesn't show up. Super Troll didn't call in tonight to sing that song. Yeah, he called in. He called in about 10:20. If when you watch the show back, if you go, well, the show started at 9:50. He called in about 10:20, so it's probably around the 30-minute mark when you watch the show back. Ashley Snell, what's up, buddy? I don't go to games because I'm not allowed in public. I mean, like, and even when I go to games now, I have more fun. Before the tailgate and all that. I love that. I love going out there and hanging out with people that I don't get to see that often, people that I've met either through this channel or Facebook groups or whatever. I have a great time doing that. But I don't know. It's and here's the other thing. It's one thing to go to a game in the rain in September when it's 85 degrees or something. Whole other thing to go sit in the rain when it's 50 degrees. My daughter had the flu last week. Lou Jr. was homesick from school today, and he's going with me. So I don't know. I'll have to see. This is really bringing me down now thinking about this rain situation at the game. But we'll see. I don't know yet what I'll do. I mean, if it's a 10 or 20% chance of rain in the morning or something, that's different. And the other thing is. Isn't SEC Nation going to be in Athens this weekend? I want to go to that. I want to leave here at like 5 in the morning, get to Athens at 6:30 or 7. I want to do SEC Nation. Then I want to go to my tailgate spot. I've already talked to the guys. I'm bringing bratwurst. They're going to have hot dogs and hamburgers and chicken and all the sides. It's the best tailgate on campus. I love that place. Those people are great there. They have, we got to set up with all the TVs. You can watch all the games. Like the Georgia games at 3:30, they'll have all the noon games. It's just there's cornhole, kids throwing football. I mean, it's the perfect tailgate. I love it, and it's really bugging me out about this rain now. Braves WS, thank you for the super chat. How about the man who now wear the red and black? Hail to Georgia, go you silver britches and go dogs. Thank you for the super chat, sir. Appreciate that, Slim Shady. But who even played? I played the rain when I was younger, and I whipped it. But now that I'm not younger, I might lose if I played the rain. I don't know if I'm willing to schedule that matchup at this juncture. I'll have to look and see. I don't know. Maybe if I don't go, I'll go next week to Georgia Tech. I hate not to go to a game. I try to go to one a year. Maybe it's at Georgia Tech. And it's about the same distance either way for me, though, to get to Athens or to get to Atlanta. It's about the same distance either way for me, same amount of time. Is Georgia going to listen to you and get new plays on offense? No, Savannah, they're not, unfortunately. Georgia's going to go as far as its defense could take them this year. They're going to run that same tired offense they've been running all year and just hope that somebody gets hot. That's what they're going to do. I'm not trolling. Mike Taylor says, where I can find some booty. I don't know, is Melissa May in here? Colby H, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the comment. Love the videos. Thank you. I appreciate it. I love making them. Your season is over, Little House on the Prairie. I have a feeling it is. I don't think Oklahoma's getting in. Listen. People don't want to hear it. If Georgia beats LSU, the SEC is getting 2 teams in, and it's going to be, Ohio State 1, Clemson 2, Georgia 3, LSU 4. That's just what it's going to be. If LSU wins, that's where all the questions come in. To me, that's the only. I don't think Clemson or Ohio State's going to lose a game, so I think they're getting in. I think LSU's getting in no matter what, too. It's just a matter of whether they're going in as number 1 or number 1 or 2 or number 4, right? If LSU beats Georgia, then LSU, Clemson, and Ohio State are in, and then Oklahoma, the Pac-12 winner, and Alabama can argue over the 4th spot. If Georgia beats LSU, then Clemson and Ohio State are still in. Georgia obviously is in, and I think LSU still gets the 4th spot. I'm not saying that's right. I've said a million times I don't think the loser of a conference title game should get into the playoffs, but the playoff committee unfortunately doesn't listen to everything I tell them like they should. So, how big of a playoff do we need to get Tennessee in? Oh, that's the best comment, and it's not even close. Braves WS woo 1 million to 0 undefeated, no doubt. Man, how many teams do we need to expand the playoffs to get Tennessee in? Something's wrong with y'all. Y'all ain't all there. What the heck's going on here?
forces are the same that burn crosses. Some of those that work forces are the same that burn crosses. Some of those that work forces are the same that burn crosses. Some of those that work forces are the same that burn crosses. Killing in the name of. Killing in the name of. Now you do what they told you.
Better do what they told you.
Now you do what they told you. Now you do what they told you. Now you do what they told you. Now you do what they told you. And 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 now you do what they told you. Those who died are justified for wearing the badge and your chosen white. You're justified. Those that died for wearing the badge and your chosen white. Those who died. forces are the same that burn crosses. Some of those that work forces are the same that burn crosses. Some of those that work forces are the same that burn crosses. Killing in the name of. Killing in the name of. Now you do what they told you. And 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 now you do what they told you. You're under control. And now you do what they told you. You're under control. And now you do what they told you. You're under control. And now you do what they told you. Now you're under control. And now you do what they told you. Now you're under control. And now you do what they.
It's time for the ultimate Sleep Number event on the Sleep Number 360 smart bed. You can adjust your comfort on both sides. Your Sleep Number.
Lightning crashes, a new mother cries. Her placenta falls to the floor. The angel opens her eyes. The confusion sets in before the doctor can even close the door. Lightning crashing, an old mother dies. Her intentions fall to the floor. The angel closes her eyes. The confusion that was hers belongs now to the baby down the hall. Oh, I feel it coming back again, like a rolling thunder chasing the wind, forces pulling from the center of the earth. I can feel it.
Ashley Home Store has some of the top-rated beds on
Send away for a priceless gift. One not subtle, one not on the list. Send away for a perfect world. One not simply so absurd. In these times of doing what you're told, keep these feelings no one knows. Whatever happened to the young man's heart? Swallowed by pain as he slowly fell apart. And I'm staring down the barrel of a 45, swimming through the ashes of another life.
Jess Hall, what's up, buddy? Thank you for the super chat, sir. You helped me through to pass my down your business. Thanks so much, sir. Man, YouTube early, sir. Good morning, I'm a fan of yours. 3 years. I appreciate those kind words, Jess, and I don't know what I possibly could have done to help you with that. I've been through a similar situation myself, coming up on 1 year that my mom passed away. She passed away a week before Christmas, last Christmas. But whatever it was I did, anything I did, whatever to help, I'm glad I was able to help in some kind of way. And thank you for the kind words, sir. That's going to be so good. Let's check in. Let's check in on our buddy here. Let's see how he's doing.
Crazy. Like when she's finally, because it's about a 30-minute fucking video.
Look at this guy.
And at the end, when she's climbing up the tree, because she climbed up there and tied the rope. And then when she's climbing up there and putting it around her neck, her phone just starts bling, 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 bling. Everybody trying to call her to be like, don't fucking do it. Don't fucking do it. And then I guess when they figure out, oh, she's really going to do this shit, they call her mom. Her mom comes running out the back door. Caitlin! Caitlin! Too late. She's already dead. What's up, Uncle Lou? Oh, don't stream this. I'm sitting here talking about little girls killing themselves on fucking best gore. Kyle, when did this come out? When are they saying they found this? What's up, Rob Dog? Rob Dog, another one that I had to unblock today. I don't know who's Uncle Lou. Always with the Dean Smith shit talking. I mean, you ought to be fucking pissed. Being a Georgia fan. Shit. I think I spent the first 20 years of my life not even thinking y'all had a basketball team.
Okay. Enough of that, I guess. I got bored. Y'all check him out, though, if you ever do get bored. It's must-see TV. He does entertain me on his live streams. Anyway, I guess I'm going to end this so I can go over there and hang out on 8 Camel Toes channel. Y'all come check it out. There you go. I'll post a link again. All right, appreciate you guys tuning in tonight. I'll see you 8 a.m. for the morning show with Uncle Lou's supposed to have a guest coming on, so we'll see. I'm keeping my fingers crossed because this is about the 3rd time he was supposed to come on, so we'll see if he actually does it or not. Chess Hall, thank you, sir. You helped just by being my friend, making me laugh, and being a great person. I'd love to meet you one day for sure. Especially me, my good guy, neck beards makes me sick. You live anywhere around? I'm not. Some people don't like to say where they live. What state do you live in? How about that, Jess Hall? There's no reason why you can't meet Uncle Lou one day, sir. How far away do you live from me? I'm in Augusta, Georgia. How far away are you? Calhoun. Is that, I don't even, is that up, where, is that near Atlanta or is that South Georgia? I don't even know where that is. That's not, it can't be far. It's in Georgia, so it's not that far. We'll make it happen, buddy. We'll figure it out some kind of way. We'll figure it out. Anyway, appreciate you guys watching. 8 a.m. comes early in the morning. I'll see you guys then. Thanks for hanging out with me tonight, guys. God bless college football.